choice. I need 100 pack for my boys. Deep be hating and talking and talking and hating. I bet you I kill the noise. I've been a man like I'm Peyton. I boost up my rating. You know how I play with toys. Pop out on any occasion, get standing ovations. They can't help it but rejoice. They all wanna follow me, cause I got my...
From the home of the 12s, they raised the banner just a moment ago. We are set for football at Lumen Field here a mile south of downtown Seattle. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a third and about 3 to go. Fields. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Monty Rice. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he's got room. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. On second down, Montgomery. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Now third down is looming. A pickup of 2 on first down and just 1 yard there. Now Fields. Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Monty Rice in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Play action. Here's Stevens. Open man. That's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. They'll run. It's Kenneth Walker. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down. The Seahawks in a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And they were able to tough it out last week, a close one-score game. And those are the kind of wins that pull you together as a team because everyone gains confidence and they feel like they can continue to get better. Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
He'll rifle this one deep right side. He's got a man complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. That'll give him 8 that time, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They'll fake the handoff, now Fields. And this is going to be incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
And here we go on 4th down, Fields. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Monty Rice.
And partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Throwing is Stevens. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks take a 3-touchdown lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Now it's Fields. And the open receiver, it's Robert Woods. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards there, a first down. They'll try the middle with Montgomery. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Off play action. Fields on the move to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Barton, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. On 4th down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. And he was looking for the check-up bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them. Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
And once again, he's going to be stopped up behind the line. 2nd straight play. Shades of the 85 Bear defense a little bit. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Stevens setting up to throw it. He's got a man, complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. And, of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
This defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first-half scores just like this one.
And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Now a give running right is Montgomery. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Fields. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Santos' kick is up and through, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
And he's across the 45. It'll be 2nd down.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 40. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Here's Stevens to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Walker. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Now Stevens. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And the Bears in the nickel. No, wait, they're in the dime. 6 DBs out there on 3rd.
Could play an exotic coverage.
Stevens. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good, but that shouldn't matter a great deal as they still lead by a bundle here.
And now 2 problems as I see it. First, you missed the kick, which granted was a long one. But second, you set the other guys up with great field position and enough time to maybe get downfield.
Oh, Fields is intercepted for a 3rd time. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them, because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get them about 5 yards.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Walker with another carry. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, it's Walker. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback, because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On 3rd down, Stevens. He's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up 4th. Now here's Michael Dixon, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game, because you can it's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
To throw on 2nd and 6. Fields. He finds his man complete. It's Schultz. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. Well, look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Fields now to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Back to throw. Fields. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day. They're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Sticking with Walker on second down. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. To throw on 3rd down, Stevens. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has, percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. He's got it to the 43 here. 6 yards left on second down. To throw is Fields. And my goodness, another interception. And the Seahawks are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
57 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Sticking with Walker on second down. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch. Back now in Seattle, Washington. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And Walker once more. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 3rd down, Stevens. He's got his tight end Fant. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Last play, they didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Now they gain almost 40 yards here. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Walker is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. Walker once more. And good work there defensively as they're able to keep him out of the end zone. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Across the chalk, into the end zone, touchdown Seahawks. A great effort there. Scoring on the 2-yard keeper. And the Seahawks are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. The extra point now coming from Myers. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And you hate to see this for them, but they're looking at yet another loss to begin this season. Things really going from bad to worse as they trail here starting this drive 1st and 10 in the 4th quarter.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops from one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And he's going to be brought down short of the 1st at about the 31-yard line. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Now a 1st down throw, Fields. And now here's another interception. It's Roger McCreary with a pick. And the Seahawks are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 77 yards on the ground for him so far.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the 1st down.
And going right back to Walker. He'll get this up to the 47 and brought down there.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Second and 8 coming up. From the gun, it's Walker. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And to the 49-yard line, but no further. And obviously he is well short of the 1st. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit. He's got a man, complete. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. On 1st down, Fields. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Fields. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That incompletion brings us 1 step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
Pass complete. He's got Woods streaking across the field. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that will force a turnover on downs. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. So the victory here for Seattle. And it was a game where they were off and running in the 1st quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, though. They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Seahawks, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the downward spiral continues as they drop to 0-6 now. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers.